Alright, well, you already know what it is. DJ Gucci White Kid, Bipolar Radio, Open House Party. We are in the building. I wanted to touch base with a little something that I've ran into with the reselling game, the eBay game, anything like that. Basically, I sold a pair of 12-year-old sneakers. I would consider them vintage. They were Nike Flexes. They kind of look like the old Bo Jacksons if you were from that era. I'm a sneakerhead, and it's the same silhouette. But regardless, they didn't fit me. You know, they were a size 11. I'm an 11 and a half. So I was going to flip them. I then posted pictures on eBay, was ready to sell them, and a gentleman contacted me with a offer. He said $15, but the laces look a little torn. I assured him they weren't torn. He then asked if they were comfortable. I let him know I've never worn them. I couldn't verify, but that we were both aware these are 12-year-old shoes, more for a collector. And what ends up happening? He buys them for $17. I ship them off with tracking, everything. Couple days pass. I get a message that he wants to fight because they're not as described. So I read his, notes, and his only complaint is that they're not comfortable. Now, being a top seller on eBay, you know exactly what that means when someone says not as described. You fight it, and it will ding your, top seller performance. Well, the lesson I learned from this, because I dealt with eBay and I dealt with a couple different managers and everything, and this gentleman probably won't have an eBay page for long because of other people complaining on him and also, his actions towards me over a pair of $17 shoes that he obviously just wanted for free. So I instantly message him back, and I'm like, I can't guarantee comfort. That's a state of mind. Some people may like bricks strapped to their feet, while others prefer the comfort of UGG shoes. So I never guaranteed comfort. I guaranteed their condition. I guaranteed the shoe size. Everything that was in the picture is what he received. But because he wanted to be sneaky and, not be honest, that either he changed his mind or it was buyer remorse, he decides that he's going to, open a return case. But at the bottom, because he's a reseller, I went on his page and saw that he was a reseller. He basically, decided to say, well, if we can come up with an agreement, because I cringe when people decide to return stuff, that would be a better option for me. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Tried to throw him $12. On $17 shoes, I felt that was more than fair because really he's complaining about comfort, not that the item was not as described. What transpires next? He denies that. I then get a nasty message from him, pretty much, just talking nonsense, how he's, one of the best eBay sellers in the world. I've got a personal assistant and a direct line to her through eBay, and I cascade your, selling numbers by millions. Doesn't matter. We're all on the same page. We're all on equal playing field. And at the end of the day, eBay laughed when I told him, to read the notes that he had sent me. And all it does is hurt his case because, degrading other eBay sellers, we're a fraternity on eBay. We all are on the same playing field. And whether you've been selling for 10 years, 1 year, 20 years, it doesn't matter. You should treat everybody with respect. If you decided to buy something that is 12 years old, get the knowledge that you're buying a vintage item. You're not buying something fresh out the box that you're going to probably wear on a daily basis. This was for a sneakerhead, which let me refresh this, because this gentleman used the word sneakerhead, or sneaker fanatic as he called it, against me. I am a sneakerhead. I have multiple pair of collector edition Jordans, multiple pairs of Yeezys, multiple pairs of, skate shoes. I consider myself a sneakerhead. Now, that does not mean that I'm going to magically know if these shoes are going to be perfect fit on this gentleman who says he's a size 11. Shoes are cut different. DCs are cut different than Nikes. And, I am wearing a pair of, Paul George's right now that you technically would wear a size up in them even if you are a size 11 because of how they're cut. But what I learned from this is the fact that eBay informed me of some rules. And basically, I came out ahead on this. When someone tries to return something for the wrong reason, stating item is not described, what you need to do is open a case against the buyer. Make sure that you open the case and say they're trying to return the item for the wrong reasons, that the item was as described, and make sure you copy all of the emails, the notes, everything. At the end of the day, eBay will get you your money back. That is guaranteed. But when you sit there and just banter back, be as polite as you can. I'm sarcastic. I have an attitude when someone comes at me, but, I tried to remain calm against this moron, thinking he was buying 12-year-old shoes to wear on a daily basis. But he kept switching his story, whether they fit his son or him, which is neither here nor there, because I didn't guarantee comfort. But make sure that if you get into this type of situation when you're selling something on eBay, open a claim against the buyer that they're returning it for the wrong reasons. It is definitely not a item not as described. It is more of a personal preference, buyer remorse, I changed my mind, or something to that effect. On eBay, we are not Walmart, we are not Payless, we are not, anything to the degree of just because, people can try and return things. We need to have respect on an even playing field where people feel like, okay, you saw the picture, you received what was in the picture, there is no need for complaints. And, especially during this epidemic and people reselling and stuff like that, it isn't fair. And I'm glad that eBay, is not only, my complaint on him was only the icing on the cake. Supposedly there is multiple others of him, doing similar item things. So, at least we know that, like I informed him in a message, I may have lost the money because it'll take up to 2 months for it to get credited back. But what I did gain was the knowledge knowing that, his page is probably going to get shut down. He's going to get disciplined, whether it's 30, 90, 60, or indefinitely, because of his language towards me, the way he treated me, and his lie trying to return something, saying it wasn't as described, when in reality, it was as described, but I can't guarantee comfort. And this should go across the board. If you're selling a sweater and it says it's an extra large, and you pretty much send it to them, then if you've covered your bases and nothing happened to that sweater in transit, do not let someone tell you it was not comfortable, it didn't fit right. That is not your problem. You're not a Kmart. You don't have the next size up. You're trying to make money on your side hustle, and you have to remain firm, remain vigilant. Call eBay, and if you are a top seller, a power seller, you have a direct line to your main, eBay assistant, like I do, then they will, pretty much handle it from there, and pretty much tell you, let them keep blowing smoke. They're burning their own bridge, because at the end of the day, they're not going to have a page. Do not lose money because someone's saying it isn't as described, or trying to use idle threats to keep the item and want the money. I learned a lot through this experience, and I just thought I'd share it with you that eBay pretty much walks me through the steps of filing the complaint, making sure that this guy is going to be investigated, and making sure that, the proper punishment goes against him, especially if I was going to lose some kind of money. But, come to find out, I'm probably not going to lose the money, and this gentleman's not going to have a page. All over $17 shoes. It's petty. It's childish, and it's horrible. One, to think that someone's going to buy 12-year-old shoes and want them as their everyday wear. I mean, you could do that in your town, pretty much, and go get some yard sale shoes and wear them every day. They were being sold as vintage. They said they were from 2009. If you want to wear them as your knockarounds or, put them as part of your collection, great. But that's not really the right mindset. This gentleman obviously was delusional. But, yeah, I just wanted to pass that information along. Because if you get in this situation where someone wants to return an item because they're saying it's not as described, but then in all the notes, it is something completely different. It didn't fit. It wasn't comfortable. Whatever. If it doesn't have to actually do with item not described, not your problem. Take the return. Because then when you get it and you take pictures of it or, whatever, then you will get your money back. Or open the claim the second they decide to open a claim against you saying the item wasn't as described. Because if all their notes say differently, that it's not comfortable or it doesn't fit right, you're not a Walmart. You're not a Payless Shoes. You're not a JCPenney's. At the end of the day, it's not your job to guarantee comfort. And that is directly from eBay. Instantly open that claim that they're trying to return it for the wrong reasons and taking advantage of the eBay buyback policy because they know darn well that you probably will call their bluff or be scared and just give them their money back. But in this day and age, you can't do that. Stay vigilant, stay tough, and stay classy, America.